This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we'll start the meeting off. Let me take the attendance here. Paul, Eric, Alan. I got an email from Charlie's wife this morning saying they had some kind of medical issue and would not be attending tonight's meeting.
That's a drag. I hope he's okay.
And Charlene is out of town. One item I'd like to get to first is the approval of the December meeting minutes. Can I hear an approval? No?
I approve.
Okay. Rather than get right into the agenda, Eric attended a meeting today with Julian Sear. So I'd like to have Eric talk to us about what went on at the meeting.
Well, it was organized by Kathleen, and we got like about 15 minutes of this time, and it's we've coordinated a communication between. There's a DCR legislative liaison who has to be involved, and the head of the trail budget, Paul Janegi, and so it's happened to connect everyone along with Julian's aide. And so the first order of business, I got orders today to, I have to come up with an route assessment, a priority, and a second tier. So, you know, it sounds like they'll throw some money toward it. So it's kind of exciting, and it seems like by the attention of this committee sending a letter along with the Friends of the Cape Cod Rail Trail, and it'll just take a look at it, and possibly that step up that we'll get a bit more, done this year, which is what I'm hoping for. So I got to get out there, and if anybody on the committee has their favorite routes, it really would be helpful. That no, seriously, because it's like I don't want to, just fly by in the Kubota and go. That's not that bad. I should bike it. That's I'm afraid, though, on my mountain bike, sometimes it's, but I get jolted on even that. So I know the worst ones, but I don't want to, I've done this before with them, so it's a bit of work, but I will, mark it, measure it, and see what we can get done this year. So I got work to do.
Alan, do you have a favorite bumpy spot? Yes?
Yeah, but unfortunately, it doesn't fall within the purview of the CCRT. It's on the OCRT, and it's the stretch we all know right behind City Hall. And I think, given that it's right behind City Hall, we should be able to get the attention of the town manager to prioritize that. Well, Eric, I'll brought that up to Link. Does Link know about that? There's a couple. I actually have a couple of agenda items for Link that I'm going to bring up today, and I will bring that up again as well. And I'll follow up with you offline. Bo is a good person as well that responds to a lot of stuff on the trail. All right, good. He's second in command, like down there.
Well, Link is supposed to repave the whole trail next year. I don't know if that's still on the books or not.
That's great. That's, and that's what probably the state really needs to think about is not as an overhaul. Like last time they did it, they got shrubbery and did this huge expense. I mean, made it added to the cost, which I get they want to oversee it, but just a basic repaving like a highway gets done without it always being remodeled, and just have it resurfaced because it's going to crack. It's just going to do it. It's just so, but that's dreaming, I guess. So we'll see.
Eric, do you know who from Senator Sears' office was with you? Was Ashley Brown there?
No.
I'm sorry, Ashley Benson. Ashley Benson. That's what her name is. Ashley
Oh,
Benson.
no. I think it was a gentleman, Michael Mahoney, I think it is.
All right.
That
All right.
was his aide. So,
Okay.
But it was nice to see people getting, and I think it adds to the asking for route money that we have, that Julian is interested in it and just pays attention to it a bit. But he understands, it's his budget and how it works. So he was pretty adept, and I was pretty impressed by him. So
he's been responsive. His office has been responsive to bike issues and rail trail issues. I've been speaking with him on the legislative front.
Yes, but he wants to. I mean, he knows the state has a framework, and they look at all the trails, I think, evenly. And what we, I think, have to try to make a case for is the Cape Cod Rail Trail is exceedingly pounded and busy in the summer, and has, because of the tourist destination of Cape Cod, and it is not the same as a trail out in Western Mass that still gets mostly local people to go out and use it. Not that that's not beautiful. I like the trail now that it's not overrun, and you get sections to go on without being traffic jams like it is in the summer. But it is a demanding surface that's getting a lot of usage, and so I think it takes a lot of wear. So I don't know. We'll see. That's all I have about that input.
Okay.
For me, I just got to list the routes again, and please help me out so I don't not put in your section. And the only other thing I did like the Wellfleet route that a gentleman, but that's from the Friends. I think he gave that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really pretty fire roads through Wellfleet, but has absolutely nothing to do with TCR. And the rail trail itself is a limited item. And I thought it was beautiful, and it's like Julian was talking about the extension, and he said there's any new construction in certain ADA grades in the hills that are out that way on the land that we're talking about, it won't pass. It wouldn't be. So you wouldn't be able to have the rail trail probably there. The legal things, So maybe we should just let it be the mountain bike access to Provincetown. I don't know, but that another he I think was probably understanding why the Mass DOT might end up building that trail along the highway, whether that's not going to be the rail trail, but at least it'll be a bike lane off a highway and safer than having people just on the highway. So it's not the answer. It's not the goal of the Cape Cod Rail Trail vision was to have it like it is, a park atmosphere through all these towns all the way. And unless the National Seashore changes a complete vision, and you would have to so much construction on this fragile land. I don't even know if I want to support that. It's almost like, wow, maybe that is too much intrusion. We need a safe way, though, and that's the thing for if you want to ride a bike, and the rail trail offers that. So I got nothing else.
All right, let's move on. Thank you.
Hey, Paul, do you remember about the last year we got funding for a couple of lights through the Mass license plate grants? Can't hear you. You must be muted.
Well, he's not muted. That's the weird thing. His microphone shows is on, but there's no voice coming out of his mouth. Paul, you're having technical difficulties because even though the app shows you, now it definitely shows you as muted.
Oh, back on?
There, now we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, let's try that again. You mentioned about, yeah, we got those. What happened was, yeah, we got those grants, and the question is basically, at this point, CPC was wondering whoops, what happened? I lost Alan.
You lost.
Yeah,
And,
I'm just taking my shirt off. Relax.
I'm still here.
All right. Well, basically, I got a note from CPC what was going on with that with that project, and ended up saying that I had to get some information from Link. And what happened was they got a bill for, well, let me back up quickly. I told them that we were rescinding the CPC project because we got the grant. And then there was a bill submitted to the CPC project number, and it was for the castings. So I wasn't aware of it all the details. It seems like it happens in the background with Link and everybody. So Link sent me an email basically determining, what the costs were, and told CPC to close the account, close the project, and they did. Kind of like the bottom line.
But what about the license plate grant money? Do you remember anything about that?
No, I think it just actually, if I remember correctly, I think it went like through Link. Like whether it was is it Steve Turney, Steve Tupper,
Right.
and Link?
Steve Tupper. Yeah.
I think they got together. Something came up quickly, and if I'm correct, I think Steve did it for us, like in less than a day, and submitted it or something of that nature.
Okay. I was just wondering if it was time to do that again, but seeing that it was up to Link, I guess it's nothing. It's out of our hands.
Yeah. And I remember that Charlie was saying that, for some reason, just because we got the grant the year before, that CPC was, it sounded like it was, we could get the CPC funding, but he wasn't 100% sure, obviously, until they vote, but he was pretty confident, so.
Do we have to submit, seeing that Charlie's not here, do we have to submit an update to the CPC anytime soon?
I don't know. Usually when I've had to update, they've sent me an email.
Okay.
So I would assume Charlie would be getting an email indicating such. Usually, I would guess after they voted, and I thought it was in January sometime or before the end of February that they would vote.
Okay. So is there anything else about your communication with Link?
The only action I had from last month was as far as having them paint the lines, or paint our part of the OCRT and he said he would gladly do it. I remember Alan mentioning that you would mark it, but I'm assuming that they have correct marking equipment. I'm making that assumption. But
I bet he does. I would think.
And I just suggested that, and I don't know who to actually go to for Chatham, but he said if he could get his hands on the stencils, so we make them all consistent,
right,
from the Rotary out, and make them consistent with the Chatham stencil, for lack of a better word.
Isn't Chatham changing their stencils? Their stencils are all messed up. They did something wrong with their stencils, because they're on, like, they have east and west on them, and it's confusing.
Oh, that's right.
Right. So they have to change them. So it's like, if you're in the eastbound lane, it says 2.5 east, and if you're in the westbound lane, it says 2.5 west. They should all either say 2.5 or they should say 2.5 east, since that's the eastern.
Yeah, right, right.
So let's circle back with them. I believe I had said I was going to measure them with the Jones counter, like how I measure running race courses.
Yep, correct. In the spring.
Just to confirm, like, there's zero chance I can do it before the middle of February. And frankly, once my big deadline in the middle of February is behind me, then it's going to be snow and ice on those paths. So realistically, this is probably like, a late March to early April project. But if I get an opportunity to do it sooner, I certainly will.
Yeah, well, you think what you're doing, Alan, I mean, I don't know how you're measuring it, but you're thinking it would be equal to or the same, better than what Link might have? I mean, we don't need this done till springtime sometime.
I think all I want to do is confirm the current measurements are in the right place, and then mark the, because we wanted to go with, so the current measurements are at a quarter mile. And if I remember correctly, the conversation was to do measurements at every 10th of a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Right?
I believe so.
So that kind of, obviously measurements that are at a quarter mile means that there's two sort of in-between measurements per mile. The 0.25 and the 0.75 are obviously not at a 10th of a mile. So, I think we need to sync up with Chatham and actually put together an action plan for this, and make sure that we're all on the same page before we do this. So I think there's still some preliminary work to be done before any action is actually taken.
I don't mind touching base with Chatham. Would it be Bob Oliver, Eric, or Fran?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll commit to touch base with them.
It might be a good idea for us to have, I think the last time we had a joint meeting with them was at least 3 or 4 months ago, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, we should probably try to have a quarterly connection with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably high time to make that happen.
You know what? I'll ask them. And
thank you.
And that's a request on our part, and plus we can either talk, maybe best thing to do is just, give them a call or have them call me, and we can communicate a little bit and see where we can go.
Great. Thanks, Paul.
The only other
that'll
thing
be great if that ever gets repaved. That section to Chatham is gorgeous, I don't travel it enough sometimes, but it really is beautiful.
The only other thing I have on the agenda is that it's not even on the agenda. Is the Friends of the Cape Cod Rail Trail is going to have a meeting on March 9th and I asked Kathleen if I could invite the Bikeways Committee to attend, and she said that would be okay. So at
Yeah.
the February meeting, I'll send out a reminder again for the Friends meeting on March 9th. So everybody could call into that Friends meeting or go to Nickerson if you rather.
Yeah, they do. It's done live. Yeah.
Is usually well, you'll let us know. Yeah, time.
Right.
Usually is it an earlier time, same time?
I'll tell you what
Usually
time.
it's like 4 o'clock. It has been.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was 4 last.
I have it in my calendar. Stand by. Thursday, March 9th at 4 p.m.
Yep. I'll try. Maybe I'll get some goodies. I don't know. Let's see.
Shrimp.
No, well, yeah,
Shrimp.
not that good. Actually, one of the guys that work there has a grandson that goes fishing, and sometimes he does bring scallops, and we're like, oh my god. Yeah.
Hey, lobster
Right
will
off
do
the
just
boat.
fine, Eric.
I like
But
scallops.
hey, I'll do my best, but he's not doing it.
Oysters. Whatever.
Okay, guys.
All right. And when I was also just to finalize, I'm gonna also send Link an email just to see what the current plans are on repaving, resurfacing, or whatever of the OCRT. So
Okay.
that way, but by the next meeting, maybe Link's pretty good about getting back to me, so we probably should have at least some form of an answer.
Very good. That's your
Actually, if you don't mind, whoever our contact is with Link, I think it's Paul. The light at Queen Anne. So I was out on a run just literally moments before this call started, and I've been running every single day. And the light at Queen Anne Road, which is in Harwich, but it's on the Cape Cod Rail Trail. That light has not been functioning for the last couple of days.
Okay.
The light, then also the light on the Old Colony Rail Trail at the intersection of 39, so like right near my house. That light did not work on my way out today, nor on my way back. So that was at, I think I left at 4 and I came back at 4:50. So plenty of daylight at that point. Should have been functioning just fine. I'm not sure if these things are on a timer. I seem to have noticed that.
I don't think so. They can be pretty finicky, and I'm not sure. They're pretty new, so there maybe it's calibration. But but ours used to be more finicky, and they've been all right.
Yeah. So my wife and I take our children. Go ahead, Eric.
Yep. Oh no, I was just the state has to take care of the one by Long Pond and between Long Pond and Seymour, and one in Brackett Road in Eastham. All the others, each town is put in, or the National Seashore, which is quite amazing. That because actually the road itself belongs to each town. So
right.
I will email Sean, who takes care. His group takes care of that. He works for Link, and I usually copy Link. I don't get feedback if they're working. Usually, I've got to go see if they're working, within a day or two. So I'll get something out to them no later than tomorrow.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, that's everything on my end.
Okay.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, guys.
Keep running, Alan. You're good.
Wow, you're a good man.
But I was going to call. I just got an opportunity to do that biking out in Wellfleet. I know you wanted to get together, but my life is very unplanned, Alan. And if I got an opportunity, So it was like
I'm
work.
glad you did.
You know?
I'm glad you did. And frankly,
But the
I'm,
heather and the reindeer lichen up those fire roads, it is gorgeous. It's like no other part of the Cape, no doubt.
I believe it. I believe it. I've written up there.
Worth
Yeah,
looking at from the naturalist point of view. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Yep. Nice.
Okay.
I'm sorry I didn't get in on time, but
It's okay.
all
Bye
right.
now.
You beat me, apparently.
Well,
See you guys.
I'm getting
Good night,
surrounded
guys.
by grandkids right now, so my life is not good to.
That's it.
All right. See you guys later. Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.